6 today with SQL Bolt here. SQL Lesson 6 multi-table queries with joins. Up to now, we've been working with a single table, but entity data in the real world is often broken down into pieces and stored across multiple tables using the process known as normalization. Database normalization. Database normalization is useful because it minimizes duplicate data in any single table and allows for the data in the database to grow independently of each other. Types, here's example, types of car engines can grow independent of each type of car. As the trade-off queries get slightly more complex since they have to be able to find data for different parts of a database. And performance issue can arise when working with many large tables. So we're going to go ahead and dive in, and this is the multi-table queries with joins, and it gives us an example of the inner joins here. So select column, another table column. Here's the example from table, inner join, another table, on my table dot id equals to another table dot another underscore table dot id, and so on. And it gets into the inner joins. The inner joins is the process that matches rows from first table and the second table, which have the same key as defined by the on constraint to create a result row with the combined column from both tables. After the tables are joined, the other clause we learned previously are then applied. And it goes into more stuff. It says, did you know you might see queries where the inner join is written by simple as join? These two are equivalent, but we will continue to refer to the joins as inner joins because they make the query easier to read once you start using the other types of joins, which will be introduced in the following lesson. So here it's going to tell us the different tables. So we've added new table, the Pixar database, so they can try practicing some joins. The box office table stores information about the ratings and sales of each particular Pixar movie, and the movie ID column in the corresponds with ID column in movies table 1 to 1. Try to solve the task below using the inner join introduced above. Okay, so here are the different, so we have the table movies and we have the table box office now. So we have two different tables, not just one. And then over here, based on the query, it says here, select all from movies. It gave us all the movies. So the first task for exercise 6 says find the domestic international sales for each movie. So they want us again to find the domestic and international sales for each movie. So on this one, we're going to be writing here. We're going to have to take that off, and we're going to be writing and putting, bringing them together. So the first one will be title. I'm going to start with that, comma. We also going to be bringing domestic sales. And again, if you were like wondering where am I getting this information from, domestic sales is right there. I'm actually going to just take this and copy it. That's going to be part of what I'm bringing in, domestic sales. And then we're also going to be bringing international sales. Go ahead and copy that if it's the same thing. And then, of course, if you're seeing title, domestic sales, international sales, we're not bringing it from the movies table. We're bringing it from the box office. Box office. So that's the table that we're bringing it from, not from movies. And then it says finding domestic international sales for each movie. So once we got all that for each movie, then we're gonna do the inner join for movies. And we're bringing in then the movies. And then we are going to say on box office because we're also getting the ID. On box office dot movie ID. And I'll show you guys where I got that from. So when we go into the movies, there's an ID right here. And we're bringing it from movies. So to connect it, we're doing that dot ID. So it says box office, but it's coming mainly from the from the box office. But the movie ID is also here. See, there's a movie ID. And then we're going to say equals to movie ID. And let me check something because I'm sure, yep, underscore movie ID, right? And then we said equal to movies ID. Says, yep. Just basically saying movies here because this is the name movies and then that ID to get it in there. So the first question was find the domestic international sale for each movie. So the first thing we did was select title, which is right here, select domestic sales, which is right there, international sales. And we said it was from the box office table, which is this one right here. And we said inner join, bring them together from the movies, right? And then we have the movies table right there. And then we said we this is what we wanted, that movie ID, right? And that's what it resulted in. So that was the first task. The second one says show the sales number for each movie that did better internationally rather than domestically. So we are gonna go and do that one. We're gonna leave title domestic sales international. We're gonna leave everything the same here. And then we're coming in with the inner join for movies. So we're leaving that there. And we're leaving what we just did, but what we're doing is then we're going to add the where class right here on the bottom. So we're saying where international sales. I was going to just copy it because I don't want to have to type it. Where international sales. And then we're using here domestic sales. To get that then what is was asking show the sales number for each movie that did better rather than domestically. So this is going to tell us the answer. And then we're, of course, going to do order by ascending order. Yeah, yep, that's what I like to. So again, the question was show the sales number from each movie that did better internationally rather than domestically. So again, we kept the title, we kept all those because we wanted the title, domestic sales, and then international sales. And again, from the box office. And then we brought in also, this is the inner join when we're combining. And again, we're using the same ID to pull that. And then we said we're international sales. And then we have, of course, that operator there and then domestic sales. And then we wanted it in ascending order. So, yep. So the last one says list all the movies by their rating in descending order. So list them all. So we're going to keep all the same stuff we have, but instead we're just going to over here order by, we're going to say rating, and we're not going to need this where clause here either. We're now using rating, which rating should be right here, or we're going by these numbers. Yeah, and that's pretty much what I wanted as well in here. So guys, that was it for this session 6. It's a really interesting one. Really dive into it, because again, this is where it introduces, being able to combine two different tables and get information out of both of them. So I think it's pretty cool. Again, thank you guys. Bye for now.